shown amazingly over 2,000 years ago in the third part called Abhidhamma. 17 steps of how the mind works. And to understand what I'm talking about, you need about 17 steps of the brain to function too. Okay? But this number happened to coincidence, it doesn't mean much. You don't need to remember that. Bhavanga means the mind, resting mind. When you sit like the light and you see the flash of slide here, it left the past consciousness and start to try to understand this. It move into this the subject right away. And then from a rest mind, it starts to perceive with your eyes, your five senses, and the consciousness will come to correlate with that. And then the will receive consciousness will send into different parts of the brain. That's we talk about superior temporal gyrus or somewhere around that. And then there will be determining, investigating, determining, and then we'll start impulsion, indulge into what you were exposing to. You like the color of it, you don't like the color of it, and so on. You have bias there on conceptual processing. And then you register the consciousness there. Like, I like more of this cookie, this more juice, it's good. So, Bhavanga means the resting state of mind, like in deep sleep, profound sleep, interrupting something object flash into your mind there. And we go through that 17th step, the thought process, that's how it forms. So this is to exemplify what Don was talking about. I used not the chair, I used the lotus. So it transmits eye and flip upside down, go to the back of the brain there, the visual cortex. And through the 17th step I was talking about, through your eye consciousness, it goes to perceptual processing, the pure processing, pure perception. We talk about pure perception, or sanya in Pali. So the visual cortex, it doesn't mean much. It's electrical impulse that goes to the back of the brain. Then it transmits there into this superior temporal gyrus to interpret, investigating and interpret what it is. It's lotus flower, or a table, or a chair, whatever. Depends on the size, shape, color, and motion, and so on. As you can tell, this is a bird, whatever, movement. And then now come the bad part, the conceptual process. It interprets a different part of the brain. The frontal lobe that I was talking about, the thinking brain, the middle and inferior temporal gyrus. That's when we start to indulge impulsion, 7 steps. And then the final tool is to memorize it. That's how we relate it, and with our intention we form action called karma. Karma simply means action. With intention we perform with our deed, speech and thought. That's called karma. And the consequence we will receive is karma vipaka that we talk about. And this is what the Buddha called house builder, or tanha, craving. This is from the little Buddha. You probably recognize this guy, human being. So the house builder is like his own image. It helped self-image hologram that degenerate. He said, through the realm of many births I roam, without reward, without rest, seeking the house builder, which is the craving, painful, this birth again and again. House builder is craving, you've been found. Your shaft, you shall build no more houses. Your rich floor has been broken, your rafter has been broken, and your rich floor has been destroyed. We come to the state of unconditioning. It means it's called nirvana, basically, the ultimate peace and happiness, end of craving. It's the Dhammapada 11. So when we see image, and when you think of image, like a present your friend, a place, surprisingly, your brain lit up the same area. Even when you think of it, or actually exposed to it. This is scary. Without mindfulness, you're in the virtual cycle all the time. You think of it, you kind of replay it, because you can pull it up anytime. Thinking is real, but the thought is not real. Very important. That's when you meditate, you have to know that. So that's how we do this all day long. We're in the virtual mode. Think of place or person. The first one is the real exposure. The second one is true thinking. You see how bright it is? Just to think of it. So you think of, I just came from New Zealand. I can think of New Zealand very pleasantly. It will pop up in my mind, in my thought. I would run over and over again. Mano Tawara Vajana Chitta. And it will go into the conceptual processing that I showed you earlier. The 7 step we keep indulging in the thoughts. But it's not real. It's imagination. The hologram you generate. And you indulge in it. That's when you suffer, because you don't get what you want. If you come up every time, it would be nice. So the middle path will tell you to avoid sensual indulgence or self-mortification, or eternalism or nihilism, or idealism or materialism. Be given importance in both sides, but not to cling to both. Like or dislike. Everything is dependent on arising. Cause and effect, interdependence. Everything is but impermanent, imperfect, and all phenomena are selfless in nature. So why did the Buddha brought up so many things like that? But he only picked only a few. He didn't talk about how the earth moves around. It's not important. He only mentioned one sutra. And we never taught that much about it. But it's written there. And how the babies form, we don't talk much about that. We talk about this handful of leaves, which is about the Four Noble Truths, dependent arising. That's what we need to do and work on. And you heard enough of that today, about Four Noble Truths from Buddha Science. So that's all I have.